think I always knew that I was different and our family was different in a sense, because I grew up in a single parent family in the 1970s. I was a mixed race child in a city called Chester, which in the 70s had probably about 3 or 4 black people, mainly whom were my family. And so I think also because my mother had been to a private or independent girls' school, so there were always books in the house. I was always taken off to visit castles and cathedrals, but we didn't have the material goods that other people had, and we lived with my grandmother, so I lived with my mother and my grandmother. But I think it really was clarified for me on my first day when I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to this good independent girls' school, where we were sitting in alphabetical order and I sat next to another H, as I was then, and she turned around and said to me, "Hello, my name's Hobby and I've got a pony called Monty." And I thought, I've got an outside toilet and I live in a terraced house. So I think I was always conscious of that from an early age, and throughout my life there's always been that big difference, which I finally now feel that I can celebrate. The Equality Trust was set up in 2009 off the back of the publication of The Spirit Level by Kate Pickett and Richard Wilkinson, and it received worldwide acclaim and was translated into many languages. And the thesis of that was simple, really. It was that in countries where you have high levels of inequality, you also have high levels of socially determined ills. So more mental ill health, more physical ill health, more obesity, more teenage pregnancies, less trust, and also less educational attainment. So this really created a wave throughout the world, we can say. And so the Equality Trust was set up to take that forward. And so we campaign on issues on inequality, so social and economic inequality. And we are trying to raise awareness of the ills that inequality cause, but also the solutions, because inequality is not inevitable, it's a policy choice. And if it's a policy choice, then we can get solutions to end that. You know, we measure our country's wealth in GDP, but at the end of the day, what we really want is a healthy society, which is far more important than a wealthy society.